yourself. And I feel like that is why being your first love is the most beautiful thing, because who's going to love you more than yourself? Okay, so I'll be using this as a little microphone because I have a very low voice, and I know that sometimes you won't be able to hear me. But hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is the first car podcast. I'm so excited because I literally have never done a podcast before. I've always wanted to do it. I actually wanted to start a fashion podcast a few months ago, but it just didn't work out. So I was trying to figure out what is the best way to introduce my personality and me to a channel, because I feel like everyone wants to have a podcast. So I feel like you have to have the right tone, you have to have the right respectability, you have to have storytelling, you have to have a lot of elements to have a car podcast to make it feel like it be entertaining, to not make it seem like you're just another person who has a camera and thinks that their opinion is valid and that they deserve to like speak on issues and speak on their opinions. But I think today's topic is a really important topic because it's something that we really don't speak on that often. I posted a TikTok, I want to say about 2 months ago, basically talking about how why are we not allowed to love ourselves until somebody loves us. It's almost as if we need permission to love ourselves, and then when we find someone that we feel is worthy of giving us the validation that we can give it to ourselves, then we feel like it suffices. I wanted to speak about how when we're younger, we are immediately when we come out the womb, we're taught there's something wrong with us. We go to school, and up until we go to school, we don't really have anything to compare ourselves to anybody. The only people you compare yourself to is your cousins, maybe like your aunt, your uncle, any family, maybe like the few friends that you've made before you've had those real like life connecting bonds that you make at high school, middle school, high school, elementary school. Before that all starts, you're at home. Personally, I have this thing that elementary school is one of the most important part of a child's life, because that's where everything's happening. That's where your social skills are coming into play, your emotional skills, everything. I feel like I think it would be so beneficial if they gave children a space to speak about their feelings and to give them the language, the tools. I know that may be controversial because not every parent may wants their children to have maybe a wide range of emotional tools, but I feel like that's something that as parents are just assumed to just know and do outside of home. But I feel like that goes into the self-esteem and beauty standards. We now teach children to love themselves from the get-go, then I feel as though it'll make being in a relationship easier, because you've already taken the time to learn who you are. How do you love yourself? How do you show up for yourself? What are ways that you show up for yourself and you realize that they weren't true, genuine ways to fill your cup? And then I feel like after you've had a few years or however long you need to like sit and marinate in that, then that's the perfect way for you to set a healthy, positive relationship, because now you're not looking for this love in your partner, you're looking for it as an extension, because you love yourself, you know who you are, you know how to show up for yourself, and you do so because you love yourself and you are your first love. And I feel like being your first love is the most beautiful thing, because nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can take the love you have from yourself. When you're young, we have a sense of who we are. Like I feel like as children are the purest form of confidence, because a child knows who they are. But when you go into elementary school, when you go out into the world outside of your kinship, your home, the industry, the beauty industry, I would say in particular, goes so much out of its way to teach you that there's something wrong with you. And I personally feel as though children have a really hard time with that, because they go on middle school, high school, elementary, and they don't have the tools and foundation to love themselves, because they are taught that you can't truly love yourself until someone else has given you the allowance to do so. The beauty industry takes so much time telling us that there's something wrong with us, and then when we're finally of an age where we have money and currency and like something of value to give to them, which is our time, our self-esteem, our money, then they spend our whole entire lives giving us products, giving us ideas that make us feel as though now we're able to love ourselves in the way that we couldn't before. And one way I noticed that is when a girl gets her first boyfriend or someone gets their first partner, to make this more inclusive to everybody. What I wanted to say about that is I feel like a lot of girls, when they get their first boyfriend, they feel as though they can start doing the self-care that you should be doing anyways. Like, I feel like now girls feel like they can wear makeup, they can dress up, they can be confident, they can love themselves because someone else has given them the, I guess, the privilege, the allowance to love themselves. And I just think it goes back to when we're young and we're really trying to figure out who we are, how do we identify, who do we want to show up in this world. We're not really given a sense, we're not really given a place to do that, because the industry is curated to make us feel bad about ourselves. So I feel like that's why it goes back to a lot of times people are like, oh, like, why does that girl stay with that guy? Like, he doesn't align with her personal goals, he doesn't align with her, with how she expresses her emotions. They have different attachment styles and they're not like working on trying to like get it to work. I feel like those are the moments when we really have to take into consideration that your environment, it's society, it's the beauty standard, it's the social standard, it's all the standards that come with being a human that remove those elements of yourself that made you you, that made you this unique individual that came from the womb of your mother and brought you into this world, into this life. The way you're told that you're allowed to love yourself really becomes your whole world until you are able to give yourself the room, the allowance, the privilege to remove yourself from the limitations that society, your family, your friends, whatever this environment that has made you feel as though you cannot love yourself, until an external person is giving you that internal love that would be more powerful if it came from yourself. And I think that's why I have a problem with when men or just anyone says that a girl who's confident in herself is a bitch or that she's egotistical. I do think that there is a fine line between loving yourself and believing that you are beyond everyone, and that is where the disconnect comes. And I think that is where people don't understand how detrimental it is to teach girls, to teach men, to teach children, to teach people in general that those ideals are the only way to be successful. And I think that's why we need to destigmatize the idea that you cannot love yourself until someone loves you. And I think that's why I feel like it's kind of ironic that we're always telling people that nobody, you know, we always tell people that you can't love anybody else until you love you, or that like you can't hold someone's love unless you have the capacity to hold your own, and you know, the extra cuppings of other people. I feel like that's kind of misleading that we say things like that, because then we don't teach people how to love ourselves. Kind of how like taxes and all that is like a huge part about being a person, but you're not taught about those things until, you know, you're forced to like not the IRS banging on your door like, girl, like, where my money at, why don't you report this, that, and the third, right? What is your tax bracket? Things like that. I feel like, why are we not giving the tools to give it to themselves, to take that energy and to be like, it's mine and no one can take this away but me. Lately is I'm not looking for a relationship because I feel like I wasn't in the environment to grow and learn and evolve, because I wasn't aligning myself. So then when I went through an ego period and went through a hermit, all of the periods, the transformation periods, all of that, that is when I really understood that I have to do things for myself first. And I think the best way to learn how to love yourself first is to pretend that you already have a partner, you already have a boyfriend. You'd be like, what are you talking about? But I feel like you have to start living your life and doing the things that you will already do if you already had your man, your girl, your partner, your boo, whoever it is. If you already had that person, then that's when I started to romanticize my life. I started to like do my, well, I'm not wearing makeup right now, but I used to start doing makeup twice a week. I started to learn how to dress up better. I started accessorizing more. Like, I've been wearing more like jewelry and stuff like that. I've been really trying to work on who I am. I've been like cleaning my house before I go out and pretending like someone's gonna come over and see me afterwards. Like, you know, I've been really trying to like romanticize my life, because nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can take the love you have from yourself. They may bring it down to a different level than what it was at first, but it will never be the same as someone giving you their love, because now you're taught that someone can love you because you have a man, you have a girl, you have a partner, you have someone to hold your heart for you. But they can easily take that love away from you, and you will be left to re-foundation yourself. And I feel like that is why being your first love is the most beautiful thing, because who's going to love you more than yourself? No one will ever look in the mirrors and look in your eyes and see yourself the way you do. So why would you not take the time to learn yourself, to honor yourself, to enjoy yourself, and to heal yourself? When I say heal, I don't mean like completely like perfect yourself, because perfection does not exist in humanity. I don't think that exists. As humans, there's never gonna be a person that can embrace all the wrongdoings in this world, because as people we make mistakes. And I think one mistake that we are currently making is teaching kids that, and adults, girls, women, just humanity in itself, that you cannot be your first love. You cannot love yourself until somebody loves you. And I feel like that's just a huge message that just needs to be taken and brought out into the world. Thank you so much for watching my podcast. I have a lot of my podcasts coming up. It's really short, but like, I didn't want to make a 30-minute podcast and I just started this YouTube channel because I already know no one's gonna watch this. So I just wanted to have fun, just get it out there. But thank you so much for watching, and don't forget that you are your first love. And don't let universe, don't let society, don't let your parents, don't let your man, if you already have one, say that you can't love yourself the way you want to, because no one will ever know what it's like to be you. No one will ever know what it's like to walk in your shoes, to wake up to experience life through your eyes and your soul and your body, and to have to love yourself, being your vessel. That is a very, very special thing that no one else will ever be able to experience but you.